Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's kind of like a superpower. How can you take a huge, messy universe of data, we're talking millions of points, and boil it down, describe its most important features using just a handful of simple, powerful numbers? Let's dive in and see how it's done.
So just think about this for a second. How does a machine, an AI, learn to tell the difference between a handwritten 2 and a handwritten 7? I mean, sometimes they can look almost identical, right? A machine doesn't have eyes like we do. It just sees a grid of numbers, and somehow it has to find a pattern in all that chaos. Well, the way it pulls this off is by using this incredible toolkit from Statistics. It learns to summarize the essential shape and character of all the 2s it's ever seen and all the 7s it's ever seen using a special set of numbers. These are called moments. And today, we're going to build that toolkit together, one piece at a time.
Okay, so tool number 1. This is the big one, the absolute foundation. Before we can describe anything else about our data, we have to find its center of gravity. And that's the job of the very first moment, which you probably already know as the mean.
Now that phrase, center of mass, that is the key. The mean, or what we call the expected value, is literally the balancing point of your data. It's the probability-weighted average of every single possible outcome. So if you ran an experiment over and over, an infinite number of times, the average of all your results would land on this exact number.
Let's make this super simple. Imagine rolling a fair 6-sided die. Every single outcome, whether it's a 1 or a 6, has the exact same chance of happening, 1/6. So to get the mean, we just multiply each outcome by that probability and then add them all up. So it's 1 times a 6th plus 2 times a 6th all the way up to 6.
And when you crunch those numbers, you get 3.5. Now here's the wild part. The thing that's so important to get, the expected value doesn't even have to be a possible outcome. You literally can't roll the 3.5 on a die. But if you were to roll that die thousands of times and average all your results, your average would get closer and closer and closer to exactly 3.5. That's what we mean by the long-run average.
And this brings us right back to our AI trying to read handwriting. For that machine, the mean is like the perfect prototype. It takes all the pictures of the number 7 it was trained on, and it averages them all together to create this one ideal, perfect template of a 7. Then, when a new image comes along, it just has to ask, hey, is this new thing closer to my perfect 7 or my perfect 2? Simple as that. But okay, the mean isn't the whole story. Not even close. What happens when you have two completely different sets of data that, believe it or not, have the exact same center? We need a new tool. We need a way to measure how spread out they are. Just take a look at this. We've got two super simple data sets here, and if you do the math, they both have a mean of exactly 5. But just look at them. Are they the same? No way, right? They feel completely different. You can see it instantly. Dataset A is all huddled together, tightly clustered right around that center. But dataset B is just all over the place. It's incredibly spread out. And this spread is the next thing we need to capture. We do that with our second moment, which is called variance.
So what variance does is it measures, on average, how far every single data point is from the mean. And you'll see that key word in there, squared. Why do we square the distances? Well, think about it. Some points are above the mean, some are below. If you just added up the positive and negative distances, they'd all just cancel each other out and you'd get 0. So we square them to get a pure positive measure of just how spread out everything is.
But squaring things creates a new, kind of weird problem. Let's say you're measuring people's height in meters. Your mean is going to be in meters, which makes sense. But your variance, that's going to be in square meters. And what on earth is a square meter of height? It makes no sense, you can't picture it, it's not intuitive at all.
Thankfully, the solution is just beautiful in its simplicity. We just take the square root of the variance, and that gives us the standard deviation. And just like that, we're back in the same units as our original data. So now you can say the mean height is 1.75 meters and the standard deviation is 0.1 meters. That means a typical person is about 0.1 meters taller or shorter than the average. Now that is something we can actually understand.
All right, so now we have a number for the center, the mean, and a number for the spread, the standard deviation. We're getting somewhere. But data can have the exact same center and the exact same spread and still look totally different. So the next level is to start describing its actual shape, and specifically its lopsidedness. And that is the job of our third moment, skewness. So if you have a perfectly symmetrical distribution, you know that classic beautiful bell curve you see in textbooks? Its skewness is exactly 0. But let's be real, most data in the real world isn't perfect. It leans one way or the other.
So, if a distribution has a positive skew, it means it has this long tail of really high values stretching out to the right. A perfect example is income. Most of us have a modest income, all clustered together. But then you have a few billionaires that create that long tail way out on the right. Negative skew is just the opposite. Think about age at death. Most people live to be pretty old, with just a few who sadly die young, creating a long tail on the left.
So why should our AI care about this? Well, a lot of the simpler machine learning models just assume that the data follows that nice, pretty symmetric bell curve. So if a data scientist calculates the skewness and gets a big number, it's a massive red flag. It's like a warning light on the dashboard screaming, hey, your basic assumptions about this data are wrong, and your simple model is probably going to fail.
Okay, we've got one last tool to add to our kit, and this one is all about the extremes. It helps us understand the chances of those rare, crazy, high-impact events we call outliers. Our fourth and final moment for today is kurtosis. And really, kurtosis is all about the tails of the distribution. It's basically asking one question: how fat are the tails? A fat tail means there's a much higher chance of seeing a wild, extreme outlier than you would normally expect. And of course, we've got fancy names for this. A distribution with high kurtosis, the one with the fat tails, is called leptokurtic. That just means outliers are way more likely than you'd think. A distribution with low kurtosis is called platykurtic. It has thin tails, meaning an extreme value is incredibly rare. And believe me, this has massive real-world consequences. The stock market is the classic example. A normal bell curve totally underestimates how often market crashes, those so-called black swan events, actually happen. Any financial risk model that ignores kurtosis is basically blind. It's completely doomed to fail because it can't see the true risk of those extreme events.
So there you have it. That's our toolkit. The first 4 moments give us this incredibly powerful 4-number summary of any data set you can imagine. The mean tells us the location. The variance, or its friendly cousin, the standard deviation, tells us the spread. Skewness tells us about the asymmetry, the lean. And kurtosis tells us about the risk of extremes, the weight of the tails.
With just those 4 numbers, a machine can get a surprisingly good description of what a 2 or a 7 looks like. It's an unbelievably efficient way to summarize a complex world. But that brings up a final important question to think about. These numbers are a summary, right? They're a simplification. So what important details, what subtle patterns might we be losing when we boil an entire universe of data down to just 4 numbers?